What if I told you that behind the glittering lights, the sold-out stadiums, and the perfectly polished image, Taylor Swift hides a world of secrets? Secrets that the music industry doesn't want you to know. Taylor Swift isn't just a pop star. She's a phenomenon. Her music has shaped generations, her lyrics dissected like sacred texts, her every move tracked by millions. But what if I told you that beneath the fairy tales and heartbreak anthems, there are hidden truths, stories whispered in the shadows of the industry, rumors that surface only to vanish, and mysteries that fans have been piecing together for years? From the songs that might reveal her deepest battles, to secret feuds with powerful figures, to coded messages hidden in plain sight, the real Taylor Swift is more complex, more strategic, and perhaps more mysterious than anyone realizes. So buckle up. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the secrets they don't want you to know. This isn't just another fan video. This is the Swift story you were never meant to hear. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell. Because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. The secret of Taylor's first record deal. Taylor's journey to stardom wasn't as effortless as it looks. In fact, one of the biggest secrets about her early career is just how hard she had to fight for a chance. At only 11, she was rejected by every major label in Nashville. The story we're told is one of overnight success, but in reality it was persistence and a little industry controversy. When Taylor was just 14, she became the youngest artist ever signed by Sony/ATV. But here's the catch. She walked away from that deal. Why? Because she felt the label wanted to control her songwriting and image. Few know that Taylor secretly recorded her own demos, handed them out to radio stations, and personally pitched herself to managers, something most artists would never dare to do. Her break came with Big Machine Records, but here's the dark twist. This deal eventually led to the infamous Masters controversy years later. It was the choice that made her career and set up the battle of ownership that would haunt her for decades. Taylor wasn't just a teenage dreamer. She was a strategist, one who knew her worth long before the world caught on. Hidden messages in her lyrics. If you've ever felt like Taylor was speaking directly to you in her songs, she probably was. One of her biggest secrets is the way she hides coded messages in her lyrics and album booklets. From the very beginning, Taylor used capitalized letters in her liner notes to spell out hidden words. These weren't random. They revealed who the songs were about, what inspired them, or even cryptic foreshadowing of future projects. For example, in her album Speak Now, she revealed that Dear John was indeed about John Mayer. In red, clues pointed directly to Jake Gyllenhaal. But it goes deeper. Some fans argue Taylor has woven secret timelines, building an entire universe of interconnected stories. The Easter egg culture around her music isn't an accident. It's deliberate, a way to keep fans obsessed, constantly decoding, constantly talking. Insiders claim she spends months crafting these hidden layers, knowing full well the internet will explode once they're discovered. It's not just songwriting. It's psychological marketing genius. Taylor's greatest trick. Making her fans feel like insiders to her life, while still keeping the deepest truths just out of reach. The Masters controversy they tried to silence. Perhaps the most explosive secret of Taylor's career is the battle over her master recordings. On the surface, it's a business dispute. Behind the scenes, it's a war. When Scooter Braun's company acquired Big Machine Records, Taylor lost ownership of her first 6 albums. What most people don't realize is that this wasn't just about money, it was about power. Owning masters means controlling how the music is used, licensed, and remembered. Taylor fought back in the boldest way possible, by re-recording her entire catalog. Industry insiders whispered that labels were furious, not just because she was reclaiming her work, but because she set a precedent that could inspire other artists to do the same. Some say quiet efforts were made to pressure radio stations and streaming services against supporting the re-recordings. But Taylor's fanbase, loyal, mobilized, and massive, made that nearly impossible. Every re-release became a cultural event, and the industry's attempt to silence her only amplified her voice. This wasn't just Taylor taking back her music. It was Taylor rewriting the rules of the music industry and daring anyone to stop her. the secret symbolism of the Eras Tour. To the casual eye, Taylor's record-breaking Eras Tour is just a concert. To Swifties, it's a carefully constructed puzzle of hidden meanings. Every outfit, every transition, every set design is chosen with precision. For example, her bejeweled performance features a shimmering staircase that echoes imagery from old music videos, as if she's literally climbing through her past. The colors of her costumes often match the dominant palettes of each album era, turning the stage into a living timeline of her career. But here's the secret. Taylor uses these visual cues to hint at what's next. Fans noticed how certain songs appeared in specific orders, or how subtle details pointed to unreleased re-recordings. In fact, many believe she plants Easter eggs during her tour's years before new projects are officially announced. Industry insiders admit that no artist alive has mastered fan engagement like Taylor. She doesn't just perform, she creates an ongoing mystery. Each tour stop feels like an initiation into a secret society, with Swifties feverishly decoding every clue. The Eras Tour isn't just entertainment. It's a coded message, a living, breathing map of Taylor's past, present, and future. The feuds they don't talk about. Publicly, Taylor often takes the high road. Privately, her list of feuds is longer than most people realize. The Kanye West incident at the 2009 VMAs is legendary, but what about the behind-the-scenes fallout? Few know that Taylor's camp quietly worked to block collaborations with artists tied too closely to Kanye for years afterward. Then came the Kim Kardashian leaked phone call, which nearly derailed her career. For a while, Taylor disappeared, but she wasn't defeated. She was plotting her comeback with Reputation, one of the most confrontational albums of her career. There's also the rumored tension with Katy Perry, sparked by a dispute over backup dancers. While they publicly reconciled, insiders claim the bad blood lasted far longer than either admitted. And what about her subtle lyrical jabs at industry executives, journalists, and even ex-friends? Taylor rarely names names, but her pen cuts deep. The secret here is that these feuds often fuel her art, driving some of her biggest creative risks. Taylor doesn't just survive her rivalries. She transforms them into anthems, turning conflict into cultural milestones. Taylor's business empire. Behind the love songs and heartbreak ballads lies another secret. Taylor Swift is one of the savviest business moguls in music. Most people see her as an artist first, but insiders know she's also a brand strategist, real estate investor, and financial powerhouse. She owns multimillion-dollar properties across the U.S., each tied to different eras of her career. Her merchandise sales alone bring in staggering revenue, and she's rumored to have a hand in designing much of it herself. Then there's the way she negotiates. Taylor is known for crafting contracts that give her unusual levels of control over her work, from streaming royalties to creative rights. Industry executives admit, often reluctantly, that she's smarter than most CEOs. What fans don't often see is how carefully she structures her empire. Every partnership, every product, every release is timed with precision. She isn't just a songwriter. She's a business architect. The industry may prefer the narrative of America's sweetheart, but the real secret is that Taylor Swift is one of the most powerful businesswomen alive, and she built her empire brick by brick, lyric by lyric. The friendships and the squad myth. Remember Taylor's infamous squad era? It looked like an unbreakable circle of A-list friendships. But here's the secret. Not all of those bonds were as strong as they seemed. In the mid-2010s, Taylor surrounded herself with supermodels, actresses, and fellow singers. To the public, it looked like a feminist statement, women supporting women. But behind the scenes, some friendships were more strategic than personal. Industry insiders suggest the squad was partly designed to protect Taylor's image after a string of public feuds. Over time, though, cracks appeared. Some former squad members drifted away, others hinted at falling outs. Taylor herself later admitted that the squad had become a symbol she no longer identified with. But here's the twist. Taylor still cultivates deep, loyal friendships. They're just less public now. Artists like Selena Gomez remain in her inner circle, and her bond with fans often feels stronger than any celebrity connection. The squad may have been a myth, but it also served its purpose. It showed that Taylor wasn't isolated in her battles, even if, in reality, some of those allies were more temporary than timeless. Taylor's secret political influence. For years, Taylor avoided politics entirely, a decision many criticized. But when she finally spoke up, the impact was enormous. In 2018, she broke her silence with a powerful Instagram post endorsing Democratic candidates in Tennessee. The result? A massive spike in voter registrations. What most people don't realize is that Taylor had been quietly researching politics long before she went public. Insiders claim she studied the risks carefully, knowing her stance could alienate part of her fan base. But here's the secret. Taylor's influence goes beyond one post. Her music subtly reflects themes of justice, empowerment, and resilience. Songs like Only the Young became unofficial anthems for political movements. Behind the scenes, organizations have courted her for endorsements, recognizing the sheer power she wields over public opinion. The industry may market her as a pop star, but politicians know she's something more, a cultural force with the ability to mobilize millions. Taylor's real secret isn't just her music. It's her influence, a kind of soft power that extends far beyond stadiums and Spotify charts. And it's a power the world is only beginning to understand. The myths about her love life. Taylor's love life has been one of the most dissected subjects in modern celebrity culture. But here's the secret. Much of what you think you know isn't true. Tabloids love to paint her as a serial dater, writing songs about every breakup. The reality? Taylor has had fewer relationships than most people her age. In fact, many of the rumors were exaggerated, fueled by paparazzi snapshots taken out of context. Another myth, that she recklessly exposes her exes in her songs. While it's true that some lyrics point to real people, Taylor has admitted she often blends fact with fiction. Some songs are composites, inspired by multiple experiences or even pure imagination. Her long-term relationship with Joe Alwyn was kept largely out of the spotlight, showing just how private she can be when she chooses. Insiders say she's mastered the art of controlling what the public sees, and what it doesn't. The truth? Taylor's love life isn't a soap opera. It's a carefully managed narrative, one she sometimes lets slip into her music, but rarely gives away completely. The real romance has always been with her fans, the ones she trusts with her coded confessions. The secret to Taylor's longevity. Most pop stars fade within a decade. Taylor Swift has dominated for nearly 2. What's her secret? Reinvention. Behind the scenes, insiders say she works harder than almost anyone else in the business. Hours in the studio, meticulous planning of visuals, obsessive attention to detail. The reinventions aren't accidents, they're strategies. Each era of her career feels like a rebirth. Country darling, pop queen, indie folk storyteller. She slips into genres the way an actor slips into roles. But unlike most, she doesn't abandon her past. She carries it with her, weaving each era into a bigger tapestry. Another secret. She listens. Taylor constantly monitors fan theories, online discussions, and cultural trends. When she dropped Folklore and Evermore during the pandemic, it wasn't just a surprise. It was a direct response to the collective mood of isolation. Taylor's longevity isn't luck. It's a secret formula of reinvention, connection, and relentless work. And it's why, decades from now, we'll still be telling her story.